John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing a head that I used to hunt with quite a bit, and since I haven't tested it in a while, I thought I'd put it through the ringer with my 2023 protocol, and that is the Gravedigger stainless steel 100 grain hybrid broadhead. So I've taken a really nice deer, one of my biggest deer to date in Missouri with this, taken a few hogs, taken turkeys with it. It's one of my favorite turkey heads. Really nice broadhead it was back in the day. So I'm eager to see how it performs using, again, my 2023 protocol. So for a description or understanding of that test, of the protocol and all that I'm doing in 2023, you can watch a video that I posted here on my channel at the start of the year, going through all the different tests that I do and why I do them and how I tabulate them and so forth. So watch that video, or you can read about it in the description right below this video. I give all the scores and go through all the tests. And I'm using my Bowtech CP28 set at 72 pounds. I'm using Bishop FOC King arrows. My total arrow weight is like 440, 460, depends on the broadhead that I'm shooting. And then for the really hard impact shots, I'm using the Bishop Fad Eliminator because, man, they can take a hard impact shot. So let's zoom on in here and go through some of the design features and specifications, and then we're going to put this Gravedigger to the test. Here's a good look at the all-steel 100 grain Gravedigger hybrid broadhead. So it's all steel construction. The ferrule is a 416 stainless steel. I imagine the blades are 420, but I know they're a stainless steel. The cutting diameter of the fixed blade is 1 inch. And this is a hybrid head, meaning it has at least 1 inch of cut, no matter what. Nothing has to open, 1 inch of cut. And they're vented there, so it's going to be pretty forgiving in flight with a relatively small cut and that venting. But you're getting 1 inch of cut no matter what. Then with these blades, these are actually super sharp, and they're designed to cut even in the closed position, unlike some front deploying or over the top deploying broadheads that have a blunt tip. These are blunt blades. These are sharp, and so you're going to get at least a 1/2 inch of cut in this direction, even if the blades didn't open. So worse come to worse, you're getting 1.5 inches of cut. That's really nice. But the way it's designed is there's no O-rings or retention clips or anything like that. It's just pressure. As it penetrates, these blades slide back into their full open position. And this has a cutting diameter in the open position of 1 3/4 inches. So in the closed position, you're getting at least 1.5 inches. In the open position, you're getting at least 2 3/4 inches. Okay, 1 3/4 inches and then 1 inch, 2 3/4 inches. That's really impressive. And Gravedigger has always had this curved blade design because the original designer found that that gives it maximum strength and maximum cutting ability. And I found that to be pretty true, that when they have a hard impact, since they're already kind of curved back, they just curve back a little bit more, okay? But they typically don't break. And it really does aid in penetration. So even though having a really wide cut, these I've found over the years, these typically penetrate well, but I'm eager to test that and see how it does. Now, it's a pretty vented ferrule there, so to get that 100 grains all in steel, but then again, it is steel, but I'm curious to see how it does in a hard impact on this steel ferrule. But, oh, and then one more thing. They have this little Allen wrench. They give you an Allen wrench and this little bolt right here. That adjusts the tension of the blades, okay? They're held in place by friction. There's like a little knob that kind of sticks in this part of the blade there and holds it. But if you adjust it, you turn it counterclockwise, you loosen it, and it can open easier. If you turn it clockwise, it's a lot harder to open, depending on what you're hunting and what you want it to do. What I like to do is loosen it to the point that it won't open in paper. I'll take like a thick piece of paper and push it through the paper, and as long as the blades just don't open, okay, then I'm good with it. But with just a little bit, I want like the least tension as long as they don't open in paper. That's kind of my rule of thumb when I used to hunt with these. And you got to periodically check that, because when you shoot it, if you practice with it, then this can get loose, and so you want to make sure that the blades are tight enough to hold in place. And if you tighten it on down, like with a crossbow, it's designed to be shot with a crossbow, they'll be very secure. You loosen it up just enough to where you're going to get easy opening as it impacts an animal. Okay, so really, one other thing I want to add before I go on is the thickness of the blades. These main blades, the fixed blades, are 0.040 inches thick. So even though they're pretty vented, they're a decent thickness there. And then the mechanical blades are 0.030 inches thick. So a little bit thinner blades for the mechanical. But again, really intriguing design, really big cut, not much surface area in flight. Super eager to put this Gravedigger to the test and see how it performs. $175, $200. The average force it took for both blades to cut through the wire was 187.5 grams, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated right at 6.5 inches. Here's the initial cut, which is just the blades in the closed position. And then about an inch into the gel, the blades reached their maximum cutting diameter, which was about 3/4 open. I suppose I could have loosened the blades a bit, and then they would have reached their maximum cutting position earlier and would have probably opened all the way up, but I just kept it at factory settings for the testing. $250. Go with it. $250. It took an additional 62.5 grams of force average between the two blades to cut through the wire, which is an 8.75 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 54 layers, which is pretty good considering the blades did open to their full cutting position, and it has the fixed blade as well. It's in really good shape after the 3 shots through the MDF. The blades just got a little bit bent back, like I talked about in the introduction. Their cutting diameter is a little bit smaller than it was before the test. And here it is after the 2 shots into the steel plate. And again, it held up really well. The only damage is the mechanical blades got a little bit nicked up, and then they also got bent back a little bit more. So the hole's a little smaller than it was in the MDF round. And you can see the holes here. It made 2 really nice holes in the steel plate. Okay, I was not expecting this head to hold together so well through the concrete. And this is after the MDF and the steel plate, and then really punching into the concrete. And man, the ferrule is in excellent shape. It spins very well. These blades, the main blades, got a little loose there, as you can see, yet the edges held together very well, and this tip, you could barely tell is even been shot into the concrete. Did really well. These blades got very bent back during the steel plate, and they did impact the concrete, so it didn't really matter. But overall, very good durability here. So what'd you think of the Gravedigger? Man, now I remember why I like this Broadhead so much. Okay, it does really well, and it had even exceeded my expectations. I'd kind of forgotten how much I liked it and how well it had performed for me back in the day. And I was just refreshed and even surprised in how well it did. Wow, really durable, nice cut size. You know, that over-the-top deploying broadhead, not my favorite, but you're making up for it because you got the fixed blade head there as well. Great for turkeys, great for a lot of different animals, provided you have the kinetic energy to really be able to drive it deep into an animal. But it scored really well. I was impressed with the overall score. Stay tuned and you see that score, and check out the score sheet, and you can see how it performed in each of the areas that I tested, and see if it might be a good fit for you. But I think they did a great job with this head, and it's really worth a look.